celebrating resilience, embracing change, speaks volumes about the journey you, the graduating class of 2024, have undertaken. Resilience, though a word I approach with caution, encapsulates the strength and the fortitude you have shown in overcoming challenges. However, let us not see resilience as a perpetual curse, a demand to endure continuous hardships. Instead, let us focus on the transformative power of change through education, which you have so brilliantly embraced. This year, we have invited our GED and English as a second language graduates to join us in celebrating their achievements. You, the students from all walks of life who have taken that step to change your lives through schooling, can become the next USM degree program students, perhaps the class of 2026 or the class of 2028. Or you may choose to return to the workplace with your sharp ability to employ your general knowledge and professional skills. Whatever your option, we are sure that you will succeed in your endeavors. We are proud of you and we salute you. I'm going to ask everyone to I'm going to ask the graduates of the GED and English as a second language graduates to stand, the programs to stand, and let's give them. To our distinguished graduate students and researchers present, your relentless pursuit of knowledge and groundbreaking research has expanded the frontiers of human understanding. You have faced complex questions and provided innovative solutions, contributing to the advancement of your respective fields. Your work not only enriches the academic community, but also has the potential to effect meaningful change in the world. This year, we celebrate the final success of two-year projects sponsored by the Dutch Health and Medical Research Council ZONMV and carried out on our islands by a growing network of local researchers, namely the Food Security and Economic Diversification Project and the COVID-CAS project, which looked at the impact of COVID-19 measures on vulnerable families during the pandemic. I would also like to recognize here in the audience USM Research Coordinator, Dr. Raymond Yesudoon. Raymond, please stand. And thank you for your support for research at USM. To our graduating associate and bachelor students, the class of 2024, your journey has been nothing less than inspiring to your community, and that makes the entire USM family proud. Through rigorous coursework, collaborative projects, and countless hours of study, you have acquired skills and knowledge necessary to excel in your chosen paths. More importantly, you have cultivated the critical thinking and adaptive abilities needed to navigate an ever-evolving world. Your time at USM has provided you with a strong foundation, equipping you with dexterity to excel in your chosen professions. But beyond that, you have discovered your passions and found purpose in the pursuit of your dreams. Resilience has brought you here, but it's your capacity and will for change that will propel you forward. Embracing change is not merely a response to external circumstances, it is a proactive stance. It is about challenging the status quo, questioning the outdated structures, and striving for a better future for our communities. Your time at USM has equipped you with the tools to be agents of change, to transform the very systems that have held us back. In a world that is increasingly interconnected, the challenges we face are complex and multifaceted. Whether it is climate change, social injustice, technological disruption, GB blackouts, a continued dump fires, political violence in our neighboring IT, these problems require collaborative efforts and innovative solutions. Let your toolbox of critical thinking be the driving force that motivates you to seek out new knowledge, to challenge existing paradigms, and to foster unity and empathy amongst diverse communities.
Before I proceed, let me thank all of you for having welcomed me to beautiful Ireland. I have not had a single day where I felt homesick, and that says a lot. I join all the people gathered here to celebrate you and to honor you for this extraordinary achievement. Today you will cross over into another phase of your life. You have arrived at a critical juncture wondering whether you should continue in academia, stay in the workforce and work your way up, or perhaps do both, one or the other. While I am extremely proud of you and hopeful for you, it would do you little good if I were to stand here and pretend that the road ahead is paved with gold. Your experience at USM, captured in the symbolic certificates that you will receive later on, speaks to much more than your academic or intellectual acumen. In fact, having listened to some of your testimonies over the past few weeks, I am convinced that perhaps it is a much more compelling indication of your resilience, your grit, your tenacity, and your spunk. Against all odds, you did it. And here you are, adorned in your beautiful outfits and regalia, a hallmark of achievement. You will be surprised to learn that from today, you'll be treated differently. Some will be gracious enough to acknowledge your effort and your achievement and celebrate you. However, there are those who will scorn you because of it. Others will lend a hand, encouraging you to continue to even higher heights, while there are those who will purposefully, methodically try to keep you down. There are those who will try to diminish your effort, not acknowledging the late nights, the long days, the financial sacrifice, even wanting to compare you to graduates of other institutions. The road ahead is not paved in gold. You will find yourself in places where you have to contend with everyday challenges, such as bullying. You will meet people who will want to tell you what to say, how to say it, what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. They will want to tell you to slow down and to poke holes in your most valiant efforts to contribute to the advancement of your place of work and your community. It is not by accident that sometimes you happen upon images that depict scenes that suggest that while some are rowing fervently, wanting to get to that place of bountifulness, that there are those who are very mischievously drilling holes into the bottom of the boat on which we all sit. You will have to confront that reality. You will have to contend with people who have preconceived notions of who you should be, what you should be, how far you can go, because of descriptions like class, race, gender, sexuality, ethnicity, or religion. Do not allow them to shape your destiny. There are those who feel privileged for one reason or the other and question your pace, your tenacity, your intensity, or your speed. They have little to no say on how far you go and how fast you can go. Only you, the universe, and your divine maker can determine those things. Do not subcontract those elements of your growth and your well-being to anyone outside of yourself.
SXM, your Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
Still on the topic of GEBE, again, we of the Democratic Party wish to stress that we have to prioritize the urgent electricity supply to the nation, but we should not lose sight of the other matters surrounding GEBE, such as the shareholders, so the government, the supervisory boards, and management's roles, responsibilities, and accountability. If you listen to some opposition members, you will think the Council of Ministers is out of place by supplying its coalition partners with information regarding the very urgent situation of electricity supply in the country. The difference being that we, the DP, support this government, and thus we are also responsible for the decisions taken by the government, especially for the critical and urgent matters we are currently facing with our electricity company. If we are called to support or defend any action of government, we must have all information and be able to express our party's views. A stable energy supply is priority number one for the Democratic Party for reasons that I have explained before. However, we are and will remain critically observant of the decisions taken, and we are entitled to question the information provided to the ministers by the company. I can only hope additional answers will be forthcoming on Tuesday during the continuation of the parliamentary meeting on GEBE. In this light, the ongoing negotiations are closely monitored, and as a coalition partner with a signed coalition agreement, we are entitled to propose solutions and even give our input. However, we need to always observe the roles and responsibilities within a company's structure and hold the respective players accountable for their role. The Prime Minister has outlined on several occasions the phases which GEBE and the government are engaged in. As the Democratic Party, we are monitoring these actions closely, solely to ensure that urgency is applied, but also due diligence. We are also actively monitoring and pushing a green energy agenda, even in these crisis times. And as I stated before, we cannot cut loose the alternative energy pathways, and that was my reason for requesting an urgent meeting to discuss the TNO report on energy transition in St. Martin. I am concerned with the reports that the previous government's agreement with Grid Market limits the chances to get the best options for green energy and to allow this government to do so without constraints of the previous government's MOU with Grid Market. I will continue to demand from government insight into this particular agreement. With respect to the supervisory board of GEBE and the management, government needs to demand that all players are held accountable for their roles and their responsibilities. We cannot continue to point fingers only, and while government has to tread cautiously as the shareholder of GEBE and not sit on the chair of the supervisory board and especially not on management's chair, the government is responsible for the well-being of the country, and taking adequate action as such is larger than the shareholders' role in any government company. The government just needs to be clear when and how they keep these two roles separated. I know that some persons in the community are calling for heads to roll. And we have advised the government, so we of the Democratic Party have advised the government, again, to tread cautiously under the circumstances. Local, regional, and international stakeholders are keenly watching. A review of the actions or lack thereof by the company must surely be done, but again, cautiously, not to jeopardize any negotiations that will put us, St. Martin, at the mercy of any other party or country. I am very, very concerned about this country's image in the outside world. Rapid decisions regarding the supervisory board and or management without a plan how to proceed would put us back, and that we cannot afford. On the matter of the longer-term financing needs of GEBE, while these needs are substantial, preparations have to start now. And we don't have to touch the approved 2023 capital expenditure budget projects. In as far as these projects are ready to be rolled out, they should be rolled out. The execution of most of these projects are already lagging behind, and the capital budget 2023 needed to be rolled over to 2024. What, in my opinion, is more doable and sellable, only if it turns out to be necessary, is a reservation in the CapEx budget, so the capital expenditures budget 2024. It is necessary that the budget 2024 be substantially amended, thanks to the stubbornness of the former government. The capital expenditure budget 2024 was way too ambitious, and since we lack execution capacity, would not the public-private partnership concept be an ideal alternative? Not because the borrowing room was there, should every thinkable project have been included in the capital budget 2024. These matters and more will come to the fore when the Parliament of St. Martin continues its discussions on GEBE, the solutions in sight, and the responsibilities of those involved.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
Deshaun Hinkson's grandparents, Sandra Aline Belgrave and David Belgrave, are still reflecting on the tragic loss of their grandson.
It was just about 10, just after 10, that we heard the pop, 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 pop. And I said to my husband, you know that when you hear about this shooting, next thing you know, you're somebody that's left crying, not knowing that it was so close to us.
The matriarch of the family says Hinkson was not rude or disrespectful and believes he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. However, Ms. Aline Belgrave says something needs to be done about the surge in gun crimes.
Start with parenting, and we have to do something about it because it's painful. It's only when it get hit home that we feels it. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have to be, I would have to be like mourning for my grandson.
Hinkson's mother, Melissa Allen, says her son's 5 siblings are not handling the news well.
The son was my heart. The son was my everything. The son is loving, caring. You will have to do anything. The son even used to stand home from school to work to help me as a single mother.
Meanwhile, resident Keith Seaton, also known as the Love Man, says he was at home when he heard the gunshots and ran out to investigate. He says the incident has left him disturbed.
Yeah, you need more police, more regular passing through regular and talk to the youngsters and things. Yeah. I feel real, real bad about it.
Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The main suspect in the murder of Police Constable Mario Thomas was shot and killed in a joint police-military operation in Manchester this morning. It's also understood that a firearm was recovered from the scene. The deceased man has been identified as 33-year-old Kerry Douglas, otherwise called Little Dog or Stickman. Deputy Superintendent of Police Kerry Duncan is head of the Manchester Police.
During the operation, a warrant was executed at a premises. On their approach, they were greeted with gunfire. The police took evasive action and returned the fire. When the shooting ended, one man was found suffering from gunshot wound. He was assisted to the Mandeville Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival.
However, relatives of the deceased, who refused to speak with us on camera, are disputing the claim that a firearm was recovered. In the meantime, this warning from DSP Duncan.
And these operations will continue. Just want to encourage the persons who may fall in the suspect category that when we come to apprehend, you do not resist, because we see what the end result can be. And when these things happen, then nobody wins.